What's going on, YouTube? It's Trev. All right, I want to talk to you about this latest. Let me bring you to it. This latest Shibarium article. Here it is. This Shitoshi thing. So he had said that he's going to be putting out, a series of articles to introduce the world to Shibarium. As Shibarium is being launched, this is the second, I believe, in this series. I don't know how many more there are to come. But I'm not really going to read through this much. You can read it yourself. There's not a lot of substance to it. It doesn't tell us anything at all, really. And a lot of it, you can read it kind of surfacey, and if you like Shitoshi and if you have high hopes for Shibarium and you want to believe, great things are in store for Shiba Inu because of it. You'll read through this and you'll cheer and love everything that he says because it's all golden, right? But if you're more realistic about things and kind of can look at things with more of a critical eye, kind of read between the lines a little bit. Maybe if you do some actual research and talk to some people and do your own DD, you might have a different perspective while you're reading this, as I have. So I know that I may be a little late in doing a video about this because it's been out for a couple of days now, and some people have, or maybe a day, I don't even know, but I know that people have already done videos on it. But my perspective is probably a little different, and so I'll offer it to you. But that's all it is. It's not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not anything that would put me in a place where I am a professional opinion giver in any way, right? It's just my opinion through my perspective and through my experience and wisdom in life, right? But also, I've said this before, I have some friends who have some friends, right? I like to go to the source because I don't mind giving my opinion, but I also want that opinion based on some actual information, and I weigh that information accordingly. I know that there's always at least two sides to every story. Sometimes there are more than that, right? But I want to get some actual words from some actual people who are involved, and sometimes I'm lucky enough to be able to do that. Not always, but in this case, I can tell you that I have it on good authority. A few things, right? And we'll talk about that. Now, as you scroll through this, and it's a decent size length article, right? It's not huge, but it's like a 9-minute read, they say, right? And that's if you read really, really fast. But a couple things stuck out to me, right? One, the amount of times Shitoshi uses I've, I'm, me. Everything is about him. Everything comes back to him. He wants credit and attention for everything. And he tries to sound humble, right? He says that some people think he's a god, right? But he absolutely, he doesn't think so, right? Some people also call him a devil, and he doesn't agree with that either, right? If you paid attention to a previous video that I put out where I actually interviewed Queenie, not interviewed so much as chatted with her through DMs on Twitter, right? But she gave me some information about how things actually went down. And if you haven't watched that video, you can go back and watch it. But that was some firsthand information from someone who has been very trustworthy on this team and in this ecosystem, has really been the face and the voice of them for a while now, right? She no longer wants to be that face. She wants to step away. She's actually taken up a position with a whole different project, right? And I think she's still working on this one to some degree, but not fully, right? So there are sections in here where Satoshi, even though we're all well aware of all of the turmoil and everything that has happened over the last couple weeks or whatever within the team, he tries to, I feel, get the upper hand because there's a lot of criticism that is actually coming out about him, and some things that might be leaking out here and there. And so it's almost brilliant of him, the way that he does this. It's really getting ahead of it, right? So he comes out and he talks about how Trophius and Milkshake and Ubi and everybody else, right? Everybody that he threw out of the Telegram, right? How they're all great, how they're all wonderful. They've done such unbelievable work. They're such powerful individuals. And he really talks them up, right? It appears obvious to me, if you read between the lines, what's going on here is that he's putting himself in a position of the bigger person. So if anything comes out against him from any one of these people, whether it be true or not, right? They look petty. They look like they are just sourpusses and they're fudding and they're trying to bring him down for some reason, who knows what, right? And that was a brilliant move. It was a brilliant move, right? Because no matter what you hear from any of them now, be it negative in any way, shape, or form, they're going to look like the bad guys, right? So what I would suggest to you is that anything that you hear on either side, you take with a grain of salt. There are always more than one side of every story. And this guy is brilliant. He's a brilliant manipulator. He's a brilliant marketer. He has had an awful lot of people hanging on a string for almost 2 years now, waiting for the Shibarium, talking about how this was all for Shiba Inu. And he offers this and he offers that, but he gives you absolutely nothing. And he's like a cult leader, this guy, right? So take everything with a grain of salt. There are 360 ways to look at it, to look at an elephant, right? So any one situation you can look at from a lot of different perspectives is what I'm trying to say. Be aware of that. So if you do hear other things come out, either for him, against him, or whatever, they have to be given the proper weight, okay? You have to say, maybe it's true, maybe it's not true, I wasn't there, but you have to give the benefit of the doubt. And you have to wait until, eventually facts will come out. And when facts come out, they cannot be misconstrued. They cannot be changed, right? The truth is the truth. And eventually the truth will come out. So I would suggest that you reserve giving an opinion or taking a side until a time where, we absolutely have the truth. Now, it may be that Shaitoshi's on the side of right, and everybody that he kicked out were a bunch of boneheads, and he's taking the higher road and being the great guy. That could be the case. But that's one guy saying it, and there's a lot of other people who are saying otherwise. So you got to give it the proper weight. Again, this article says absolutely nothing. It doesn't tell you when Shibarium's going to happen, although we do have some people, some large influencers who are saying that it's going to be either this week or next week. I believe it was Austin Hilton that I watched who said he had it on good authority, actually, that it would be this week or next week. So I'm not sure, who that good authority is. He obviously didn't want to name names, which is fine. I have a bunch of things on good authority too, and same thing. You know what I mean? You don't throw your sources under the bus, otherwise they're not sources anymore, right? So I have it on good authority that Shibarium, I don't know when it's going to release. It might be this week or next week. I don't know. Who knows, right? Who cares? But I have it on good authority that it's not going to do a single thing for Shiba Inu. You got to look at it like this, right? It's common sense and it's just math, really. It's a layer 2 blockchain. They're doing everything that they can to lower the fees. By lowering the fees, they hope to entice other projects to build on the blockchain and to use it, to trade on it, whatever, right? However, the way it's going to burn Shiba Inu is by taking a portion or a percentage of the fees. Well, if the fees are super, super low, which is the goal, taking a percentage of that and then, grabbing some SHIB and burning it, how much do you think it's going to burn? Do you know how ridiculous the amount of volume would have to be to make any kind of dent whatsoever in Shiba Inu? I have it on good authority that Shiba Inu will not be affected in any way, shape, or form by Shibarium. It was never the goal of Shibarium to do that, and it's not what it's going to do. I have it on good authority that if you see any SHIB at all, any increase or any jump in the price or anything of SHIB, look for a huge whale, maybe that bought something. Look for maybe some FOMO that might be happening, buy the rumor, sell the news kind of stuff. Look for bots, MEV bots, not sure exactly what that is, but these are some things that have been told to me. Different ways of manipulating the price, but it sure is crap not going to come from Shibarium. Shibarium ain't going to be what does it. And I have it on good authority that that's going to be the case. Now, can I say 100% that's going to be the case? No. Can I tell the future? No. I'm not giving any financial advice, and I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just telling you, just like other people have told you, I have it on good authority. So we'll see, right? We'll see. Eventually, the day's going to come that Shibarium is actually out there and released. And it is going to be what it is, right? It's either going to be the greatest thing that ever happened to Shiba Inu, or it's going to do absolutely nothing for Shiba Inu. And those other guys, good authority, are either going to be right, or the good authority that I have it on, the friends of my friends, are going to be right. I don't know. We'll find out. But until then, it's all guesswork. And it's still guesswork as to when this is even going to happen. This guy said that he's going to be, made it seem like there was at least 4 of these things going to come out. And, what about the documentation for Shibarium? What about some educational stuff? You know what I mean? To tell us exactly how it works, right? That's what we want to know. We don't want to know all about you and how great you are and all the things that you've done. He goes through wellies. He goes through... What's going on here? I can't move my deal. Here it is. He goes through wellies. He goes through the luggage. He goes through the clothing. He goes through all these things that they're so happy about. But what do they really have to do with cryptocurrency? And how do they benefit Shiba Inu at all? None of them have. As a matter of fact, the game, right? All these things have happened and there's been huge announcements about them, but then they just sit there and they don't do anything. They haven't affected anything in any way, shape, or form. And so we're looking for an effect. Now, Bone just moved in, I believe, to the top 100 cryptocurrencies out there. Good for Bone. Good for anyone who's invested in Bone. I'm not saying that, Bone and Leash and these other things don't have some sort of future. Maybe they do. It's just that I'm not invested in them, and I don't really talk about them because I'm talking about Shiba Inu. The people I'm talking to are invested in Shiba Inu. This is about Shiba Inu because this is supposed to be about Shiba Inu. But there's not a single thing here that is going to do anything for Shiba Inu whatsoever. At one point in this article, Satoshi says instead of calling them the defense breed or any other things that they are, they're now going to be called the real team. And that's Tropheus and Milkshake and Ubi and all these people, right? And they are now going to be. He hopes that they will continue to handle all things Shiba Inu, right? And allow the devs to concentrate on Shibarium. He's drawing an absolute line here and saying, it sounds like he's saying, I wash my hands pretty much of all that Shiba Inu. You deal with all that Shiba Inu stuff. Let the devs, and I think he considers himself a dev, but I don't think he's a dev. I don't know, right? But let the devs work. Let us just concentrate on Shibarium, and you guys can handle all that other stuff, right? There's no interest in Shiba Inu from this guy. And I hope that he's actually distancing himself from it. That maybe in time we'll see him just absolutely move away from it. Because if you removed Shiba Inu from what they're doing, from the ecosystem, right? You still have the bone, the leash, the treat, the shiboshi. You still have all that. If you totally removed, and he said, you know what? From now on, we're calling this blah, 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 blah ecosystem. We're removing all the Shiba Inu imagery and nothing to do with Shiba Inu anymore. We're not going to burn it. If you totally removed it, it wouldn't affect this ecosystem in any way, shape, or form. Because they don't need Shiba Inu for anything that they're doing. Bone is the gas fee. Treat is the rewards. They don't need it. The only thing they've ever needed it for was credibility. They used it for branding to say that they were the Shiba Inu because Shiba Inu was so popular. Shiba Inu ecosystem. Well, they don't need it anymore. Your project is doing well. You're successful. Let it go. Let it go. Get away from Shiba Inu. Let some team actually come in that wants to work on Shiba Inu, that wants to develop things around Shiba Inu, actually reduce the supply in a way that you can feel, right? Build the value, build utility. Let another team come in and do that because for 2 years you've been claiming you were going to do that and you haven't done a damn thing and there's nothing coming for it either. And that's just the sad reality, right? I don't know. Not financial advice, just my opinion on everything. I'm not telling you that you have to feel my way. I'm not saying that you should adopt my perspective. I just wanted to give you my perspective, and you factor that in, let it roll around in your brain, figure out what you want to do with it. But that's how I feel about it. And, I think that there are some things that are going to come out hopefully sooner than later in the future, and some things that we're going to find out about. But in the meantime, trade responsibly, do your due diligence, and be very, very careful. It's really the best advice I can give. All right, y'all. I will talk to y'all later. Ciao.